name is Summer. I grew up in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and I'm 25 years old. I grew up overseas, and I am hearing impaired. I've worn hearing aids since I was 3 years old, both ears. And it hasn't been easy because I was bullied growing up. And I kept to myself pretty much. But I've been baking and cooking since I was 7 years old. And the kitchen was always that place I could escape to. I love to read, but food was my passion. My earliest memory that shows not only that, but also that I had incredibly high standards for myself was baking a chocolate cake when I was about 8 years old. I remember taking my first bite out of that chocolate cake and just bursting into tears because it didn't taste right. It just wasn't up to my standards, and even at that age, I was such a perfectionist and I expected a lot from myself. So I have a small garlic clove. I'm just going to crush this and I'm going to saute it in a little bit of olive oil in the same pan that I sauteed the mushrooms in. This is really important because there's a lot of flavor from those mushrooms in that pan already, and we're just sort of building on layers of flavors as we go on and season as we go on. Crushing the garlic really sort of releases the oils in there a little bit better, so you get a lot more flavor out of just one clove. I'm cutting them fairly small because I don't want to get like a whole bite of garlic as I'm eating the pasta. I just want there to be a little bit of flavor. What I have in front of me are wild mushrooms, including king trumpet mushrooms. And for this dish, really you could use any type of mushroom that you like. I personally love wild mushrooms, and my favorite are chanterelles. Sadly, they were not available at the farmer's market that day. But these are good enough. I'm going to start by sauteing the wild mushrooms in a little bit of butter, just normal butter, and a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. See, I like using both because the olive oil stops the butter from burning, and the butter just gives that little bit more flavor. I started cooking a lot more savory food and sort of learning different cuisines, Indian, French, Italian, etc. right after my 21st birthday, when as a present for myself, I took myself to Gordon Ramsay's 3 Michelin starred establishment, and I had the Menu Prestige 7-course tasting menu with a wine pairing, and it was just a life-changing experience. I was blown away, and I remember becoming so inspired. I remember really realizing that I wanted to become a chef that night and work in a Michelin-starred restaurant. I also knew that I wanted to work for Gordon Ramsay. He is my idol. I was still in college then, and I may not have been very popular or very social while pursuing my college education. I'm sauteing them. A little bit of salt, and I graduated faster than any of my black pepper, and I was eating a lot of coffee. And just saute them until they're nicely sort of caramelized and golden. And they're done. I'm just going to take them out, set them aside, and I'm going to use the same. I did crab, I worked online and I assisted the head chef. He used to be like, "Summer, make a sabayon," and I'll go make sabayon. Certain tasks like that. I was really lucky to gain experience working in a high volume fine dining restaurants and cooking for crowds. I remember talking excitedly about food non-stop and voicing out my opinion, given the sous chef, executive chef, my ideas on how to tweak certain dishes they had on the menu, what dishes they should have on the menu, or put up as special. And I remember that at one point, the executive chef was okay, so I got the water ready to cook my pasta. I've got salt in there and a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. It helps the pasta from sticking together. This is fresh pasta that I made, and the pasta dough recipe is really quite simple. It is 550 grams of flour, about a quarter teaspoon of salt, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, then the eggs, 4 whole eggs, and 6 egg yolks. I also add in a tablespoon of boiling water that I bloomed in a pinch of saffron. The saffron in that ratio of egg yolks to whole eggs is essential for that kind of work. So I'm generally a quiet person, but I think I do communicate well in the kitchen, and I think that I am able to work well with other chef team members because I can delegate, and I believe in working together, collaboration, and I'm able to focus and complete the task attentively up to the standards that Chef Ramsay and myself require. In Hell's Kitchen or in the workplace, I would treat my fellow teammates and chefs with kindness. Stress is always present in a professional kitchen, and a lot of times there is tension, there's anger, all sorts of negative emotions, but being the person that I am will help me get through it, because I'm not likely to lash out or fight back. It's just not the kind of person I am. I'd rather focus on getting the tasks done as professionally as possible. So there is a reason why I moved to Philadelphia, and a partial reason to why I want to be on Hell's Kitchen, besides, believing that I could win it. And that reason has something to do with season 11 of Hell's Kitchen. And if you'd like to find out more, and there is a story to be told there, then I guess I'll have to see you at the screen test and tell you. Alright, bye bye. Say goodbye, London.